Alexandria Yang, and she is a branch manager over 2 credit unions. And we're just happy to have your over 10 years of experience in the banking system to be able to give us information and knowledge and teach the students about what goes on and how you can overcome financial discrimination. I know in my book and even in these courses, the personal financial challenge that we're really trying to overcome is the ability to people to qualify, to be able to access credit, lines of credit, do better with their credit, and be able to use available money to take advantage of investments, to be able to open businesses, but they can't because the lack of financial education in their life so far has brought them to a point in adulthood where there are a lot of barriers to entry into those additional funds. Is that something that you've seen, as you worked in a bank and been a credit counselor and a personal banker?
Yes. So I have many instances where people come in, whether it's like for credit card or loan, even just certain things that they want to do, and because they weren't, didn't know they needed certain qualifications to do it, they just couldn't get approved. And so my way of kind of helping people through it when they are, trying to understand or be like, oh, I want this $10,000 credit card, I ask about the debt to income. People are like, well, what is that? And I'm like, okay, you're older than me. So I do let them know, you have these different type of ways to learn different things. You have some, where you can always go for stuff like this, where you have the access to knowledge, where you can learn, where it's training, different courses. There's so much knowledge that's out there. Just people didn't know you can access it, whether it's free or whether you pay for it, but it definitely help you through this time, whether you're younger or older, because I have seen it people who really needed to basically have their next meal, and I couldn't help them get approved for the loan. And I'm like, well, not per se, I feel bad for them, or I can't say I feel bad for them because in certain instances I can't really give them that type of advice. But I could, like, one thing I do, come in my particular establishment, we do have the credit counseling that we can offer to people, and we kind of like sit down. It is time consumer, and you do have to have like the patience, and you have to be willing to learn, because when you do it with someone, for them to fully understand, they have to take the knowledge and use it. You can't just give it to somebody and then it's like burning a horse to water. You can't make it drink. It gotta, you gotta figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
But
I think sometimes that when it comes to that, like you talk about the credit counseling, I think sometimes not knowing the true power of credit when it comes to accessing additional funds to maybe do an investment property in some real estate, or having good credit to even own your own home or have a car at a lower interest rate without these financial education goals that also come with the financial education that you say they're missing about what makes your credit score go up, what makes it go down, so that you can be intentional. I talk about credit as a financial superpower. Like it's a way to be able to access money, use that money to make money, pay back the loan with the interest, but then still have a profit. And you didn't have to use like the money from your paycheck. You were able to use and have access to, additional funds. And because it's available to everyone, if you have the right financial steps, they can't tell you no because you're race, they can't tell you no because your
right,
nationality, there's
very
civil rights act, but they can say you don't qualify, your credit score is too low, you don't have
right,
enough for the down payment, and like you say, you have too much debt. I think people don't understand the concept of net worth, which is kind of like you said, debt to income ratio. What are you making and what do you own versus what
right.
do you owe? Do you find that the debt and the lack of credit information is kind of like one of the main factors that bring the negative um, ability to not do anything for people the most?
It's a 50-50 situation, because I have seen where sometimes it's they don't have the knowledge, and they just, you don't know. So of course, how would you, it can't, you don't know if you don't know. So of course, when you go in there and you trying to explain to somebody, like, well, what is this? What do you mean? I never had no one tell me that, it's just different things. And then you have some who do have the knowledge, but they don't care and they choose not to, care, and they just live above their means. And I have seen it many a times where they make good money, but they're in a lot of debt. And then they're very surprised when they don't get proof of something, because of the debt to income is about what and what. If you're 80% on your debt and 80% with the income, it don't work. The numbers won't work, so
Yeah. I had
um,
a I remember back when I was like a little younger and I was trying to understand all this stuff before I started teaching. I went and I saw a financial advisor guy just to ask questions. And one thing he showed me was that there was a more wealthier people were actually broker than I was, but it didn't
Yeah.
look like it simply because of the net worth, right? They
Yeah.
owed 250,000 a
Mhm.
house, two cars, 50,000, 50,000. They had $400,000
Right.
in debt, even though they were making 80K in income. I might have only been making 35, but I only had $13,000 of debt. They were really
Right.
broker than me.
Yes, I have seen it many a times. I have, per se, had to decline a doctor, and he got real upset with me because of his income, and he was like, he didn't understand why, and it was really due to the debt. He was living above his income, and it was above of what he made. He definitely made six figures. So it was real interesting, that conversation. And then later on he did, because he got kind of upset. Later on, he did come back and apologize because he realized, and I told him we could, I don't mind sitting down, going through it. We kind of go through everything. And when he did come back, and when he apologized, he's like, I do want to go through everything because I want to understand how I didn't agree to prove for this. Like, it's no way I should not have been approved for this. And then when we pulled out everything, and I literally went step by step through his credit report with him and how much he made, he became very quiet, and he was like, okay, I get it now. Because the numbers, they were there. And I even told him, and he had two houses, and the houses was almost as much as he made, not including credit card debt, the cars, and then you have your regular living expenses.
Yeah. I mean, that money can be very humbling when you look at it real, you know?
Hmm.
That's why education is important. Well, thank you for sharing about what, the experiences you have with people actually running into this barrier and the importance of seeking the education so that you can overcome it and become qualified. Thank you.